So this week was the 1-year anniversary from when we baptized one of our children, and it really got me thinking about how different our life was a year ago. And I realized that this was the time there was a lot of conflict that my husband was feeling. So he was preparing to baptize our son, but he wasn't enthusiastic about it. And it was my first hint that something was shifting in our lives. In the following months, we would find ourselves in a mixed faith marriage. So I wanted today to talk about the time that me and my husband spent in that mixed faith marriage. The song Stand By You explains a lot of my feelings during our mixed faith marriage, so I'm going to be using those lyrics during this video to help me explain what we went through. As I reflect back, I can see what we did good and what we didn't do so well. And I think most of the time we were on this side, but there were definitely times that we were on this side. And to explain that more, I was very supportive of him leaving, because if he didn't believe it, I didn't feel like he should be forced to live it. And I felt like being authentic to yourself was really important. And doing things for the right reasons is more important than doing the right things. I felt like he had to be true to himself. But then on this side, there were definitely moments of fear where I accused him of ruining our lives, and I felt abandoned and I was hurt. And some of that spilled out because those were real things that I was feeling and experiencing, even though this is what I wanted for him. And then on his side, he was also very respectful of my choice to stay in the church. On Sundays, he was always super helpful, whatever plan we had decided, because we tried lots of different things on Sundays, but whatever plan we had decided to try, he'd wake up early. He'd make sure that plan, that he was like supporting whatever we decided to do. He was always encouraging me to be true to myself. But then there were also times that were hard on him where he wanted us to be on the same page. He wanted me to understand his view. A mixed faith marriage, there's good times and bad times. And some people have more hard times. We had a lot more of a pulling together experience with a few really hard times. I want to jump into this song. First, I want to read it from my perspective, my believing perspective, and then I want to read it from his leaving perspective. So I want to start on the second line. Scars, show me all the scars you hide. So when we were both in the church, there was a lot of stuff that he kept inside and that we didn't share. Like, we didn't share anything within our relationship that wasn't faith promoting. So as he was leaving, he was able to share a lot of his hurt, a lot of his scars. I actually found it beautiful to understand him on a deep level and to understand what he had went through before we met and what he had been going through while we were married. That was actually a really beautiful experience for me to see that we hadn't been fully honest with each other, and to have this mixed faith marriage allowed us to say all of the things that we never felt like we could say because we had to be faith promoting. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine so yours can open too. And I definitely felt like this in the beginning. He might be lost, but I'll be the strong one, and I'll be there to carry both of us with my testimony. And I was going to be the one that made sure that everything ended up okay. Tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. I love that line because even though this process was sad and hard, I like the idea of the tears being kaleidoscopes, because there is beautiful things within the struggle that you grow and learn about yourself. The word kaleidoscope helps you remember to not forget there are good things in the hard times as well. It says, and hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. Anyone who's been through a mixed faith marriage would understand this. So when you leave the church, you face a lot of rejection, and that is hurtful. A lot of misunderstanding, which is also hurtful, but it is also hurtful for people that feel like they're losing you spiritually. I felt like I was losing him in the eternities. And I know that as I've left, that people close to me have felt that too. And I understand that there is hurt on both sides. It's not just the people leaving that hurt. It's the people that love them that hurt as well. Here's another line. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. That's definitely what this process was. I mean, first, it is a breaking down. You have to take everything that you've learned, all the indoctrination, everything that you've built your life upon, and you have to break that down in order to have a breakthrough. And that breaking down process is so hard, but that breakthrough process is empowering as well. So I think the way she put it in this song is so well worded. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. I know during this time it was suggested to me that, I just keep going and he will either find his own way there, meet me there, or he'll never come around and I'll be with someone else in the next life. And I just hated that idea. I hated that idea that this was going to separate us. See, the church always claims its family as being like the center of our religion and what makes us so wonderful. We're so family focused. And I do agree that is the great part about the church. But they have no support for people that are going through mixed faith marriages. And a lot of the doctrine is actually hurtful to the family if you're not together as a collective. And I wasn't going to jeopardize my family, our happiness, our unity for a gamble on the next life. I definitely took this attitude. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. I still wanted to work towards heaven. I wanted to be a believer. I wanted him to come around, but I wasn't going to heaven by myself. I would rather walk through hell with my family than abandon them and go live in heaven by myself. This line, love, you're not alone because I'm going to stand by you. I love that idea of just standing by each other in as much as you can during a mixed faith marriage. Pulling together, finding commonality, finding things to bond over. There's this line, oh, truth, I guess truth is what you believe in. And I think that was helpful to us too, realizing that truth wasn't just one thing. Like, truth, what was true to one person wasn't true to another person. And just because two people saw things differently didn't mean that one was right and one was wrong. I think that's a healthy idea to have, but it isn't necessarily promoted in the church. In the church, it's promoted that there's only one true way to believe. But I think during our mixed faith marriage, I started to realize, no, there's one truth does not work for all people. So now let's go through from the beginning from my husband's perspective. So he left first and I was trying to keep going to church, but I quickly realized, like I've said, that the church is not set up to support mixed faith families, and it was quickly becoming a toxic environment for me and my children, which really started me questioning what was right and beginning my faith crisis. In the beginning, from day to day, I just would keep swinging back and forth. One day I'd wake up and I'm like very much feeling like I needed to leave. And the next day I would wake up in a total panic that we were going to hell and recommitting myself to pull this family through. And the seesaw, the constant seesaw, the constant conflict within myself it was so difficult and it was crippling me. And I can't imagine how hard it was for my husband to watch this and continue to support me no matter where I was. Like, I'm leaving, I'm not leaving, I'm leaving, I'm not leaving. Like, and to just constantly be like, okay, whatever. Like, today you're leaving and I support you. Oh, today you're not leaving and I support you. And to watch me struggle and like let me go through it. I'm sure watching me struggle was the worst. And also, I think it was a surprise to him because for him, leaving the church was like freedom. It gave him his wings. For the first time in his life, he felt like he could truly be himself, and he felt like it was beautiful and wonderful. He was not anticipating that for me, it was literally like walking through hell. So I think that must have been hard for him to see me struggle and not realize that this is how it was going to be for me. Well, let's talk about this. Hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine so yours can open too. Like I said, leaving the church gave him these strong wings and an appreciation for life and freedom. And for me, there were days I couldn't get out of bed. And those days, he would not give up on me. He would sit by the bed. He'd comfort me. He'd listen to me. But he would also beg me, like, Stephanie, please, I know this is hard, but we got to put this aside just for a moment. He'd say, please, just for a moment, we need to be together. We need to be as a family. Like, sorry guys. It's just like, I remember this moment so vividly. He understood that it was going to be hard. He understood that it wasn't just going to go away. But he also understood that I needed those moments. I needed a break from my grief to be present. And he took his wings, his strength that he had found to help me during those moments. Tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. I mean, he saw a lot of tears. I cried a lot. I mean, I'm crying right now, guys. Like, but he never made me feel ashamed when I cried. He always just saw the tears for what they were. He didn't make my tears into a bigger problem. Next line. I'm going to stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. For him, he wasn't afraid to go through the hard things with me, even though he really wanted things to get better. And I'm sure that there was frustration, like day after day. Like, how long is Stephanie going to grieve? I'm sure there was that frustration on his part, but he did it. He walked through hell with me, and I made it. I made it to the other side. I'm doing much better these days. I'll be your eyes when you can't shine. I'll be your arms. I'll be your steady satellite. And when you can't rise, well, I'll cry with you on hands and knees, because I'm going to stand by you. Those last lines were really what my husband was for me during my faith crisis. And I also know a few of you as followers have been reaching out to me with your faith transitions and your faith crises. And I know you're at the beginning and it's really hard. And I want to tell you that I'm here for you. And then a lot of my other followers, they have really been there for me as I've went through this faith crisis. I've got lots of messages encouraging me and giving me hope. No matter where you are with your faith transition, I think that I'm so appreciative of this community and how helpful we can be. I mean, some of us are just starting and we need that support, and others of us have already been there and can give that support to each other. So now I just want to read the last stanza and dedicate it to all of you followers. Ready? I'm going to stand by you. Even if you're breaking down, we're going to find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, we'll go through hell with you. Love, you're not alone, because we're going to stand by you. So, any of you that are struggling at this moment, just know that our community cares about you and we stand by you. And thank you so much to everyone out there who's been helpful to me on this journey as I've went through this experience. You guys, it's almost my husband's year anniversary since he left the church. I really would like to interview him about his story. So if you would be interested in that, go ahead and leave that in the comments. Leave him some encouraging notes, and maybe he'll come on and share some of his story. Thanks for your continued support. If you're looking for other ways to support me, liking this video, subscribing, commenting, sharing it with others, those are all great ways to help me. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my great and spacious world.